Welcome to my channel. I am one of the GraceNotesStitchers. I'm Corinne. My daughter is actually behind the camera for right now, but she's going to help me get the little tripod set up because today is a walkthrough of my planner. So, not showing any projects, just going to show you some of the groups that I belong to, some of the pages I've made up, and how I use my happy planner because I am a happy planner person. So I will be giving you a complete walkthrough of my planner for 2021. Hi, I'm back. Hopefully I don't bump the camera at all. So let's talk about the planner first. I'm a homeschooler. I start my planning in August, so I went and bought my planner at Hobby Lobby. This is the classic size. That's what I use. My daughter had the smaller one last year. She loved it for her stitching projects, but you know, there's just little tiny squares. I'm trying to see if I can see her May. These are my favorite sheets, and they did have it in this size, but I'll talk about that more when we get to mine. So what disappointed me was the fact that they came out with Disney. I should have taken that off, shouldn't I? But I kind of begged my husband. I was like, I want a Disney planner, but I already bought my happy planner. So I bought the journal. It's a wellness journal. So what I did is I took the first block of pages and I put it into my January. So you'll see that. And then I just figured I put the pages I'm not using right now from my old planner into the back of this, so I can still look at that and use it. And I'll just swap. I'll pull them out because this has my other items in it and everything. So I did buy some of the optional pages of Disney. And I went ahead and transferred over my floss list. So that's the first thing I look at. That way if I go shopping, I either take this in or I take a picture. So my floss list is floss needs are right up front. I got this idea from another floss tuber. I have my list of groups. This is not every group I belong to, but this is my list of the ones that have challenges. Because there are times like I feel like I get it behind on checking the challenges and I don't sign up for them. So let's talk about School of Magical Stitches and Literature. They have their year-long challenges, which I'll go through with you. Then they also have weekly challenges and they have monthly challenges. And for the weekly and monthly, I don't write them all out. Sometimes I do if I get overwhelmed. But I actually save them in Facebook. I put them as a saved file, kind of, you know, when you go into your saved tab, it's there. And then I can go in and update. And then I unsave it once I master it and self-grade. So that way I can go in and say, okay, what current, like on Sunday, what do they have out for the week? School of Magical Stitches has weekly. Enchanted Stitching Challenges has weekly. And Stitchy Quest to Destroy the Wind Wing. Once in a while, Mythological Stitchers usually has weekly and monthly also. All three of them do. And then this is the fancy back of it. It's got dots to write on to keep your line straight. And then this is my game, Myth and Magic Stitch Wars. That's starting in the middle of January. I love it. For School of Magical Stitches, I had to come up with my whip list and upload a photo of it. And then they also wanted to know if they were large, smalls, mediums. So hence these are pages from last year, but I just moved them right on over. I liked them. Okay, there's my beginning. So these are also Disney. If you're a big Disney person, this came in the accessory set. And then there are so many adventures waiting for you. This is actually from this planner. So that's why I'm going to try to add in as many as I possibly can. Because, you know, I'm a Disney princess lover. These are some of the accessory pages. They're very heavy. And then I needed a place to know what cones I had downstairs. So I have those in here. This is the wellness. It says choose a word to focus on this week. Pep talk, morning reflection. What ways can I add to my physical wellness? And what ways can I add to my emotional wellness? I'm not sure what I'll use for these. Today's high moment. My mood today, what am I enthusiastic about, and where do I feel at peace? And they have these for every single day. So I just put a month's worth in, and of course the happy planner, you move them around. So here are some of my extras. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to use those for. This is what I took and put in the front. My December I pulled from my other calendar, but right before January, I put all of my yearly challenges. This is probably what you're most interested in. So 24 Hours of Cross Stitch is another group. She does monthly challenges. She has an acrostic every month, and she has a holiday every month, and then there's also stitching for 24 hours. And then 4 times a year, we have a 24-hour challenge where we work all together. And this is from Jen Lee from Quirks and Stitches. She does sell this on Etsy, so I'm not going to show you every page because I bought this. So, you know, I want her to help her make money. But she's got like habit trackers, wish lists, a list for new starts for 2021, what I'm going to work on for the 24 hours of cross stitch. Love that. I printed lots of those. So that's all from her. And I have that right up front because that's some of those I'll keep printing. And then here's my Whip Go board. This is my Whip Go for regular projects. This is my Whip Go for new starts and full coverage. So I do have 2 Whip Go boards. We'll see if I can keep up with both of them. I really want to. So I printed those off of the Whip Go page. I do have this available. I made this from the Semi-Sane Take a Hike background certificates. I can send you the file if you would like me to. Just email me at GraceNotesStitchers@gmail.com and I can send you a PDF of this. But I didn't think it was as good as Heather did them last year. She doesn't have time this year, so I did my best to make some for Semi-Sane, but I'm not uploading them because I'm not real proud of them. But if you like them, this is not my idea. This is from Semi-Sane, and then I made it into a page that I wanted to. So this is the background certificate. You can double dip. So this goes along with any other event that they're having. Alpha My Bet, I didn't have time. I did not want to make them all fancy, and you can see I don't even know what I'm doing, that I have a white block, and yeah, that's just me. I'm not creative on the computer. So Alpha My Bet, every 2 weeks, you're working on a new alphabet. You can work on any project, and then I wrote for date completed. So again, I can send you the file if you're part of Semi-Sane. Semi-Sane is a semi-closed group. You have to know somebody. You can't say I saw it on FlossTube. You have to be somebody that I actually converse with, or that you converse with somewhere else off of YouTube, unless you're like chatting with me all the time. And then I can vouch for you. But yeah, they just want you to know somebody in there. And I did this one backwards, I think. So these are the instructions for the monthly focus challenge. And you get to pick what you're working on monthly. You get more points, which is why I left my instructions in here. But anyway, I was going to put the front on the back and the back on the front. But you get more points if you focus on the same project more than 1 month. And you have to update every 1,000 stitches. So I just have boxes so that I know if I update it or not. Again, I have all of these available. I'll tell you if I made them or not, created them myself. This is for Stitch Talk Haid challenges. So I can double dip. And with all 3 of these Semi-Sane, yes, you can count the same project for all of them. Haid, you may not. Haid does not let you double dip. Now I can double dip for Semi-Sane and Haid, but Haid, between their challenges, you have to keep those separate. You can use the same projects, but you have to count them separate. So one is going around national parks, and it has to be a Haid project. And you can do up to 2 throughout the year. So I have the national parks here. You get to choose your own book. I chose Charlotte's Web. But you pick and then you mark off, or I have it so that I can mark off. I actually took somebody else's. She had uploaded it to the Haid, Stitch Talk Haid group, and then I just adapted it for myself. I took out what I didn't think I needed. And so those have to count separate. There's also 100 days of Haid. I'll show you. I'll go ahead and skip ahead. Over here, daily disciplines. This is right in my planner. Prayer reading was already in here, reading the Bible. My daughter has diabetes, so I always have to ask her every morning, did you test? And then my 100 days of Haid. So I'm marking off every day that I've done my Haid right there. So I didn't need a sheet. Then School of Magical Literature. Stitches and Literature. We are reading through these books but we're actually stitching the books. So I made blocks for every 500 stitches so that I can block them, you know, mark them off as I go. And the rules are all in the site. So if you're part of the group, that's when this gets interesting. Building the cabins, it does go all year, but March they will be releasing level 2. So I'm hoping that I have all 20 of level 1 done by March. We'll see. I'll make a new sheet in March. Reading challenges, they want us to try to get 100 books throughout the year. So again, just a little chart to follow what they have. This I took from The Hobbit. This is from the Stitchy Quest to Rule the One Ring, something like that. And so as I finish them off, I can check mark them here. I did write down, I used top 1.4 inches, bottom 1.2 inches, and sides 1.2 inches. If I use those margins in my Word document or even my PDF when I go to print it, that's when I can cut it down to Happy Planner size, because it's going to be 9¼ inches this way and 7 inches this way, and then I can use my punch. So they're doing the Rod of Wonder again. So they have their whole thing. I just copy pasted this from there and put it right into a Word file. They're going to read through the books again. So the books and watch the movies. So I made myself a checklist. Rod of Wonder Extended. Again, this is all of them. I made this bookshelf, full coverage fanatics. And then, you know, we can choose these books, how many stitches that we have to do. And then I mark them off if I do them. That's interesting too. This is another full coverage. Now that can be any full coverage. It does not have to be Haid, but I can double dip between full coverage and Haid, which is great, so that I can get them both. So that is my main yearly events. Okay, now you can laugh at me. This is not a dated calendar, maybe because it didn't come dated. So what I did, semi-sane focus challenge, and I reminded myself I have to post a picture every 1,000 stitches. So this way I know when I look at it, I have that challenge this month. Nerdapalooza, that is only this month. Bookshelf challenge, it's every month in full coverage, but this month it's classics. Favorite book in Haid, I have that already. Scavenger hunt, that actually got canceled, so I do have to cross that one out. New year, new start, I'm going to do that tomorrow in Mythological Stitchers. Cross Stitch Studio, 30-day challenge, 30 minutes a day. I'm working on the Pledge of Allegiance, and I have to update 3 pictures each week. And another New Year's new start, that's for the Stitchy Quest. This is 2-week Tuesday. We're traveling around Florida. That doesn't start for 2 more weeks, which is okay, but I'll keep my eye on that. Ultimate Cross Stitch, that group is a snowball. That sounds really fun. We do have 24 hours of cross stitch coming up, 22nd through the 24th. These are all of theirs. Semi-sane, the Alpha My Bet. And then I'm doing Year of Whips with semi-sane. So, oh, I'm sorry. This is with Soulful Stitching. I apologize. So I have that. Now, these are just for January. Over here in my notes, I have the ones that I am doing yearly. I have worksheets, but you know, sometimes I forget to go look at them. So I already have these written in for the entire year. Now, I use whiteout tape. So if I finish the year whips, because they're very specific, their goals or what you're allowed to do for the year whip. So if I actually finish the challenge, I could white it out or just cross it out like, yay, it's done. And then in here, I have when things are starting. So Ultimate Cross Stitch, the snowball is actually, your number of stitches are on the 1st, and then they tell you again on the 4th. So I'm like, know what I'm going to be looking for in case it doesn't come up in my feed. And along with my stitching 30 minutes every day. 100 Days of Hate is 50 stitches or 5 minutes every day. So I think that's it that I have written in my January. But then I have Bingo, that in Full Coverage Fanatics, and that is just for full coverage projects, but it's only January. So I have that in my January. This is on their website, so if you're Facebook group, so if you're part of Full Coverage Fanatics, I just made it smaller and printed it. And if you're part of 24 Hours Across Stitch, this is free. It's in under files. You can print this also. January acrostic, January holidays. Now this part is not, these reflections, the bonus, those are, I'm not going to show you because those are hers. And then now, the marathon planner is awesome also. These are part of her, what she has created for us. But to plan out what you're going to do for the 24 hours, like, it's just really cool. Plan ahead. And this is from my last planner, but why waste pages? So then again, in February, I already know some of the challenges that I'll be doing, and then my yearly challenges are off to the side, so I don't forget about them. And I made myself like little notes: Haid, full coverage, fanatics, semi-sane, because last year I had made the mistake of doing some full coverage project or challenges using non-full coverage projects. So then down here in the bottom, I made myself a little key. So if I forget what group, what my little initials stand for. So that is my basic setup. I use Happy Planner, love Happy Planner, because you can pick the one that works the best for you. Now here's my pages from last year. They sold these separately. And this was awesome. So this is the Snow Queen. I started it in May 2nd. So my goal is to anniversary this if it's not finished. It's a Haid. It's not going to be finished. So instead of starting a new project on May 2nd of 21, I will be anniversarying the Snow Queen, even though I know I'm working on her this year. She's going to be out a lot. This way I knew what size it was going to be because I needed to know. I wrote this down so that I knew what kind of fabric I could get, so that I could just use my fabric count. And then I ended up with 28 count. So, you know, I could use my calculator to know, okay, I'm using 28 count. This is the size that I need. So I did this as a planning before I started buying all my fabric so that I could buy bigger pieces if I could and cut them down. And then this was so that I know for my videos, 28 count, new khaki, Lugana. These are pictures when people ask. And then under planning steps, instead of writing real plans, I wrote down and planned out what challenges that I could use it in. Some of that kind of went to the wayside for me because it filled up a little too fast. The same thing down here, you know, I would go to work on it and I never would come back. That doesn't bother me that I don't know how many stitches I put in when. But you can see, here, Hope and Strength. This one I need dinky dies. So I wrote down in here which dinky dies I need. Sullivan's floss I need, Mill Hill beads, and some petite silk braid. So this way I know the specialty thing. So I liked the planning steps. I don't put my DMC in there because I have my DMC list at the front. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I have fantastic pages, but they're not mine. This is my, ignore this up here. That was my planning for last year. But down here are all the different things that I sew. I actually wrote my guidelines so that I would know. So I moved this over because that is perfect. And then this was also in my accessory set from Disney. I got my pocket page. And I had pocket page from last year that I had just bought. So I moved it over to the Disney because I want to use this year. And then also were these two extra little envelopes. So I think Disney did a nice, or I think Happy Planner did a really nice job with partnering with Disney. So this is the accessory set, by the way. It was a nice folder, and then the pages came in it. And then I think, no, I didn't. There was also a little set of Post-it, but they weren't sticky. It was only like that big. And then I also got these stickers, which are sticky. So Post-its basically of all different sizes. I got them at half price, so I don't remember. I think they were like $8 or $7. But, you know, they're pretty. They're Disney. I can stick them wherever I want. So to me, that's good. And I can move them around because they're not permanent stickers. They're more like sticky notes. But if you have questions, post them below. Send me an email if you want any of my forms that I made up. I know people have been using my form out of School Magical Stitches. I'm sorry, I mix those two up all the time. And now I'm going to swap back to my other view. I know I kind of already said this, but I hope this was helpful. I wanted to kind of look at you when I said that. Again, if you have questions, just email me or put it in the comments. Everybody does set up their planners a different way. You find out what works for you. I'm not a digital planner person, but I use my phone for keeping track of my photos and also for saving the challenges so that I always have to go back searching for them. I also have started sometimes putting how many stitches on my photo so that when I'm updating, that's another hint. If you're in a bunch of groups, I post every 15 minutes. So I save, and unfortunately, sometimes that makes it look like it took me less time to stitch, but if I'm posting them in 15-minute increments, I don't usually get banned. Once in a while, you get that little red thing that says, you know, we couldn't post this. I wait a half hour, I redo it, and then I go back to my 15-minute increments, and I can go back to posting to all the groups, especially if you're like the beginning of the month and you're posting your new starts and stuff like that. But anyway, I hope you have a happy new year. This is New Year's Eve, but I promised I'd have this done before January 1st. School, now I'm saying the wrong one. Enchanted Stitching Challenges said they will come out with theirs in next week. So I will be making forms. Just send me an email or make a comment, and I will make sure I send those to you once I make those. Because Sammy Jo made them last year. She did a great job, but she said this year she's doing more digital, so she's not putting everything in a planner, which is okay. You know, again, she didn't find that worked for her. So again, this is not a one size fits all, but there is a way to get it all down if you need to, and I'm kind of a little bit of a minimalist, I hope. All right, Happy New Year.